Let's talk about SOC 2 compliance. We're going to break down how you can turn this framework from just another checkbox into a real strategic advantage that actually helps you build trust and, well, grow your business.
Okay, so let's dive right in. To really get this, we first need to understand the problem that compliance is trying to solve. It's so easy to see this as just a hurdle, but it's actually the answer to a really important question.
I mean, think about it. This is the big question your clients are asking every single day. They're trusting you with their most sensitive info, and honestly, a promise just isn't enough anymore. Having a solid, verifiable answer to this question, that doesn't just build confidence, it puts you way ahead of the competition.
And here's the crucial point. This isn't about just ticking boxes to keep a regulator happy. No way. This is a total mindset shift. It's about building a fundamentally stronger, safer company from the inside out. It's about protecting your clients and seriously cutting down the risk of a data breach, which, let's face it, is a huge deal.
So let's see how SOC 2 gives you a powerful way to tackle this whole challenge of trust and risk. It's really the framework that lets you prove you're actually doing what you say you are.
So what exactly is SOC 2? Well, think of it as the industry's universal language for saying we take data security seriously. It comes from the American Institute of CPAs, so it's got real credibility, and it's all built around 5 key principles. They call them the trust services criteria, things like security, availability, confidentiality, all the stuff your customers really care about.
And when you look at these goals, you can see right away how they hit on core business needs. Getting a SOC 2 report isn't just about getting a piece of paper. It is a powerful tool for building that customer trust. It helps you get in line with other tough regulations, and most importantly, it just makes your business fundamentally safer.
Okay, so that all sounds great, but how do you actually get there? It might sound a little intimidating, but it's really a clear 5-step journey that'll take you from the very beginning all the way to that final audit.
So let's just walk through this roadmap real quick. You start by defining your scope, basically deciding what parts of your service are going to be under the microscope. Then you get everything down on paper, all your policies. After that, you implement the actual technical controls. And then you check your own work with internal assessments to find any gaps. And only then, at the very end, do you bring in an independent auditor to verify everything. See? It's a pretty logical path from A to B.
Now, I want to pause on step 2 for just a second, because this is where a lot of companies get tripped up. Look, an auditor can't just take your word for it. You have to show them the proof, clear evidence that your security controls are in place and that they're working. Trust me, meticulous documentation isn't just paperwork. It's the key that's going to make your whole audit process way smoother. Of course, the big question on everyone's mind is, what's this going to cost? And is it actually worth it? That's a fair question, so let's look at the numbers, and then we can talk about the pretty significant return you get on that investment.
Okay, yes, there is a real financial investment here. This chart kind of breaks it down. It usually kicks off with a gap assessment to see where you're at. Then comes the Type 1 audit. Think of that as checking if your security plans look good on paper at one specific moment. The biggest piece is the Type 2 audit. That one's more intense because it tests if your controls are actually working over several months. But remember, these costs are the price of proving trust. Let's see why that proof is so valuable.
Just look at this number, 70%. For a massive part of the market, especially in SaaS and cloud, SOC 2 isn't a nice-to-have. It is the ticket to the game. Without it, you might not even get invited to respond to major proposals. For 70% of your potential clients, not having it is a deal-breaker.
So what does this look like in the real world? Well, these examples show how compliance turns directly into real business growth. Look at CloudGuard. They didn't just get a certificate. They improved their security so much, they started responding to threats 40% faster and landed 25% more customers. And Medsoft? They used SOC 2 to prove they could handle sensitive healthcare data, which unlocked a massive new market for them.
So, you've seen the why, you've seen the how. Let's wrap things up with a clear, actionable plan to get you started on this journey and turn all these ideas into a reality for your business. Think of this checklist as your immediate to-do list. It turns that 5-step roadmap into something you can start tackling right now. You can see the key actions right here, figuring out which criteria apply to you, writing down your policies, setting up controls, and so on. This is your starting point for building a secure operation and making sure those practices actually stick around.
And look, you can make this happen by just starting small. Today, define your scope, write down the policies you already have. From there, you can use specialized software to make things easier. And hey, bring in experts when you need to speed things up. It doesn't have to be this overwhelming thing you do all at once. And really, that's the final takeaway.
At the end of the day, this isn't just about security reports or avoiding fines. It's about fundamentally setting your company up for success by building a foundation of trust that you can actually prove, a foundation that will open doors, win customers, and protect your business for the long haul.